So we've got Karl Milliron with Midwest Runner. Karl, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us, Vince.
Absolutely. We got Jim McKinney, who is with Easy Sweet. Thanks, Jim, for making time.
Thank you.
And we've got our famous host, Jonathan Morrow with M&M, former past president of ARA. Jono, appreciate you being here, and appreciate you making time to go to Ohio with me and do this.
No, it was great. This is for those of you that are watching, this is going to be an absolute. Your mind's going to be blown, and you're going to be excited to figure out how you can become a part of this. So this is
Awesome.
Good stuff.
So what I'm going to do right now is I'm actually going to pull us all off the screen that you're looking at, and I'm going to roll the video. So stay tuned, watch the video, and stick around for the live Q&A following.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Morrow, past president of ARA, and I'm here in Mansfield, Ohio, to give you a tour of the Midwest Runner. Hey, good to see you, Jim.
Welcome.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
This place is great.
Well, thank you. This is our Mansfield hub.
Yes?
It's one of 10 in the network.
10. You have 10 hubs in the network.
I have 8, and we service 2 others outside of our network.
Let's go ahead and start this tour because I want
Sure.
to check this place
Great.
out. So this facility is the brain, right?
Yes.
How many parts could run through here in a day?
Could run through here. Well, right now we're running about 12 to 1,500 parts a day. We could do
Through this hub?
Through this hub.
So that's not your network. That's this hub.
That's just this hub.
Wow.
Yep.
So with the Midwest trucking network, what does that look like? How many parts come on and off your trucks, including the pedal routes?
Total parts running through the transportation system is about 1,500 per day.
50. So that's
within the network, but everything that goes through the network comes through this hub in some fashion, unless it's regionalized outside. Now, a lot of those parts, there's other. We handle PRP freight, and we handle Phoenix freight. Those numbers aren't included in this count because those are proprietary numbers to
understood.
them.
You mentioned the pedal route a couple times.
Yep.
What is a pedal route?
Let me back up a little bit here to kind of give you the kind of the overall stage of the network.
Yes.
And why this place is so busy. It's because of our geographic location. Okay. So out of this hub through Midwest, PRP, and Phoenix, we service the Northeast, we service the Southeast, and we service the Midwest. So we go from here all the way to Albany, go down to Greensboro, North Carolina, St. Louis, Chicago, and up into Wisconsin and Minnesota. So geographically, all these yards trading through the network, this is almost the center point.
Yes.
That's why we're so busy.
That makes a lot of sense.
Now in our network, we have what we call pedal routes,
Okay.
which is the blue truck that just pulled in. And then we have the line hauls.
Okay.
So the pedal routes run out of each hub facility, and they service the yards on a particular route, the same route every day. Okay, so there may be 3, 4, 5, 6 yards on a pedal route. That driver goes and picks up and drops off at each route.
Okay.
And comes back. Now, there'll be product on that truck that'll stay on that truck. There'll be product that comes off of that truck and gets sorted to go on to other pedal route trucks. There will be product on that truck that's not serviced out of this hub, so it'll have to get staged to go on a line haul truck to another hub.
Yeah.
Okay. The reason this facility is of this size is because your pedal routes are serviced off the ground. Okay. So when you pull into the yard, they typically don't have loading docks.
Sure.
So they're loading, off the ground.
Yeah.
We found out that the best use to service multiple yards on a route is what we call the moving vans, Kentucky moving van trailers.
Okay.
Where you have multiple doors, backs, and sides.
I'd say almost 90% of all independent recyclers and consolidated at some point don't have loading docks.
Correct.
So these doors are paramount when you're realizing that you've got this one yard might have an engine and a bumper, and this next yard might have a door rack or doors that need to go on. So rather than unloading the entire trailer, these yards can open the door, put their stuff in, make sure it's secured, and close the doors. Do you feel that in the network itself, are engines and transmissions one of the biggest moving parts in your network?
They are. They are.
So they're going to take up, I mean, obviously for recyclers, it's our number 1 and 2 biggest revenue generators for the company, but it's also one of the 1 and 2 biggest moving parts on your network, correct?
Absolutely, it is, yes.
And do you guys have a standardization? So if someone was looking at coming onto the runner, is there a standardized way you are requesting or wanting them to be shipping motors out?
There are certain packaging standards that we have.
Okay.
That's normally done with my marketing person, Josh Robertson. We've got some photos and stuff, which we'll see here.
Okay.
And you know, for the most part, I'm going to say 80% of the time, parts are packaged properly. There are some deviations that you know, we can look at and address, and then we'll address those with the sender. Package it with common sense to protect the integrity of the part.
There we go. Package it with common sense to protect the integrity of the part. You had mentioned the importance of having not paper trails anymore, but using the Easy software. To trade on the Midwest Runner, do you have to use Easy Suite?
Yes, you have to.
And this is what that tag is going to look like. So the product is going to move through the hubs. It's going to have who it's from. It's going to go where it's going. It has the hub it's going to be going through, and then it has a barcode that's going to contain all the information for that part and that customer. When do we scan this barcode?
We scan it every time the part is either loaded or unloaded or touched to another truck or trailer or off at the facility that it's going to.
So Karl, when it comes to this part getting scanned in, it will be scanned into the Easy Route or Easy Runner?
Easy Runner.
So Easy Runner scans this part in. So Easy Runner is for tracking parts that run on?
Easy Runner is for the logistics system outside of your own facility.
Oh, so when the parts leave my facility on one of your trucks?
On one of my trucks, it goes to the Easy Runner software.
Gotcha.
Okay. When it gets to your facility and you want to deliver it to your customer, then it gets transferred over to Easy Route, and you can track it in-house on your Easy Route system.
Gotcha.
Through your customer and on your individual routes.
These are drivetrain cores? Is that kind of what we're looking at here?
We do have a partner on the network in the core business, G-Core Automotive, out of Columbus, Ohio.
So they're right down the road? Right
down the road. And if you have cores and you're doing business with them, you can package them like this.
Okay.
You can see these are transmission components. A lot of transmissions get going, shipped to them. I think we got a box of electrical in here that's crated up. Some of your more valuable engines and transmissions that are core, you can ship individually.
Oh, I see. So if it's a high dollar one and you want to make sure nothing gets on top of it and cracks anything.
Yeah. We added G-Core because they're a great company. They're the largest in the country. One of the concerns was, well, do cores fill up the truck space, and going to leave my sold $2,500 motor set?
Yeah, that's a big question, yeah.
It is. So no, cores have the last priority. So if there's not room on the truck, the cores don't go.
How many do I need to have, and how much does it cost to run a pallet to G-Core if I had cores for them?
You can ship one pallet, you can ship 8 pallets.
So I can ship one, I only have to have one pallet?
Ship one pallet.
And how much is that going to run?
So in our network, a standard skid price is $45.
Okay, so
and that's $45. That's shared between you and G-Core.
Oh, so I only have to pay half of that.
You only pay half of that.
And G-Core is going to pay the other half.
Pays the other half.
Okay.
Yeah. So versus an LTL carrier at $150 to $180,
sure.
So $200 now to ship this. So you can ship 4 for the price of 1.
So
actually 8 for the price of 1 to you.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Because they're paying
half,
the other. Right?
Yeah. This is one of my boxes. So, and this is one of my boxes too.
Yep. So what we do is when we get the boxes in off the trucks, we get 1 or 2 off each truck. We'll stage them over here until we have a whole semi-load.
Okay.
And then we typically take 2 to 3 semi-loads of cores to G-Core every week. They're only an hour and a half down the road, so
it's just a quick
down and back. Yep.
So these 3 boxes here, I'm pretty sure they're gonna be some of the best boxes they've ever seen. I don't know why. I think they came out of the same place, maybe.
Probably, yeah.
Someplace in Virginia. This is great. So you're getting ready to almost have a tractor trailer load, you think?
That'll go down tomorrow.
This is what I call maximizing space in a truck. And these are all orders waiting to be fulfilled by customers. So this is great. So this is one of the, how many trucks that you have come through this facility?
We have, we have 4 line hauls that go from Mansfield to our Fremont.
Yep, okay.
Every day.
Every day?
Every day. 4 of
wow.
these. We have 1 go to Greensboro. We have 1 go to Albany, New York, 1 to Binghamton, New York, 1 to Louisville, Kentucky, 1 to St. Louis, actually 2 to St. Louis,
Jeez.
and then 1 to Chicago.
Really?
Yeah.
And so these are so once again, these parts have come off of the truck they came in on. They've been scanned to the Mansfield hub. Everybody in that chain of custody knows where that part is.
Right.
It gets loaded into the next truck. When it hits that next spot, it gets scanned in.
Right.
Again, and then at the yard who purchased that part, they're scanning it in, and then you have a complete chain of custody on that product.
Correct.
I mean, that is phenomenal. Could you take a regular truck? Like if I had a delivery truck, could I go to your hub at Greensboro?
Yes. We do have a different fee structure that if you want to drive your own truck and participate in the network, we call that an insert yard.
Okay.
So the yard comes and inserts at the hub and can participate. They can bring their parts, drop it off, and then pick up the parts that are at the hub waiting for them.
You don't police. You're just a transportation network, right? And by police,
correct.
I mean like you're not going to reprimand other yards. It's kind of yards take care of themselves.
Correct. Now we'll reach out to them if there's a packaging issue.
Mm-hmm.
We actually through the runner system, if we see something that's poorly packaged or not packaged right, we can actually take a picture of that part and attach it to that file. So when we scan it, we take a picture and say, this is how the part arrived in Mansfield.
Ah, okay. So you can kind
of we can document that.
Yeah, that's
and
really
that
good.
helps. You know, that helps because we do have a claims process.
So you do have a claims process.
We do have a claims process. So if anybody files a claim, we can go back through and say, well, this is how it was received and this is how it was packaged, and it wasn't packaged correctly, so the claim's probably going to get denied.
I see.
But if you have a package, it's packaged properly, and
then you have
an opportunity to collect on the claim.
You guys are kind of changing the automotive recycling world for part selling. I mean, you truly are allowing me to move a part from the Canadian border to Virginia in about 2 days.
Yes.
I mean, I can't do that.
Yeah.
When you look at a map and you say, I'm so busy here, how do you replicate or start something else? Is there a process that you go about? Do you have to have so many recyclers that go, I need this, I want this, and I can't get to this hub, or I can't get to that hub you already have established? Is there a way they can come together and say, help me?
Yes, absolutely.
And what would that look like?
Well, we've had recyclers reach out to us from certain areas that we just can't get to. And we try to work with them and say, okay, you know other recyclers in your area.
Sure.
Okay, can you put together a group of 5 or 6?
So that's the number.
5 or 6 is probably the sweet spot to be able to get even a small operation, a small hub, maybe even a small hub at a recycler's facility to meet, that we could transport from one hub.
So you'd run a line almost.
We'd run a line haul.
Gotcha.
But we're doing some collaborative work with Recyclers Cross Dock.
Okay. Yes.
We've done a pilot program with them up in the Northeast, and we're looking at doing some more programs with them down in the Southeast.
Okay.
So where we can tie in their network into the Midwest network and allow everybody to trade cross networks.
I'm just excited that you guys are working with other comparable companies in this industry, because when we all work together and we all win, it's a better day for tomorrow.
Absolutely. And Bo already, through the Recyclers Cross Dock, has the infrastructure set up. He's got a few things to plug in his areas. I got a few things to plug in my areas. But if either of us tried to do it individually, we'd just be butting heads, and it would take us forever. Where if we work together, we'll be able to make this happen very quickly, and it's going to be very exciting.
What you guys have put together, not over a week, but over years,
yes,
is the opportunity for an independent with a couple employees to have the opportunity to trade like a massive regional or national consolidator
Absolutely.
and put all those parts in their customer's backyard.
Yes.
So in a sense, you guys have helped level the playing field.
When a customer calls you for a part and you don't have it, you have the ability to say yes about 93% of the time.
93% of the time. But one thing that we've happened, the whiplash of a global pandemic and the other things we've had to work through is rising energy costs. It's affecting you guys too.
Absolutely.
And part of the Midwest structure is that you're paying for the parcel,
Yes.
but they're also needing to pay some of the surcharge on the gas, diesel.
So from day one, when I put this company together, I was doing all my business plans and pro formas. The only thing I couldn't control was fuel
Yeah.
on that expense line. So my original plan was, a charge for the service, a charge for the parcel, and whatever the fuel is, if you're participating in the network, the total monthly fuel charge gets split amongst everybody in the network, and you pay what it is. Our fuel bill in December was $250,000 a month. Now it's $370,000 a month.
It's gone up $120,000 a month.
Yes.
How many trucks have you added?
We've added 2.
But that doesn't equate to $125,000
No.
of fuel. Wow. So we've heard about the efficiencies of Easy Suite and how integral it is to the Midwest Runner. Let's go talk to Jim McKinney and ask him some questions about that. So much of the trucking network, its backbone almost is the IT portion. And so one of the things we talked about was, we talked kind of extensively about returns and how you do those, and it was all done through the Easy Runner software system.
We have a process called return authorization. The sole purpose of that in the beginning was to keep junk returns from traveling back and forth. The fact is, if I get a very bad part and it's not going to be resold, there's really no purpose in me sending it back to you and adding all this additional cost for both of us.
Sure.
The return authorization has reduced returns by 30% across returns across the network.
If I had a part ordered in from Milliron, and unfortunately, let's say something happened in transit, so it wasn't Milliron and it wasn't M&M, but it was somewhere in between, what would I do when it reached M&M?
When you receive that part on the runner, you have a 48-hour time window to actually file a claim. This is a claim that is very well documented, and in our system there's a claims tab, and when you file a claim, you put in the reason, you put an attachment of the PDF invoice and any documentation otherwise that would support your claim. In this case, they did a really good job at the top right. This recycler took prepackaged photos as well as packaged photos. Then you can see at the second stop, a driver or a dock worker actually noted that there was an issue with this part. Here we can see the skid's broken.
So the dock workers have access to take pictures and attach it to any part that they scan in.
And we encourage them to do so.
The fact that your own employees
Right.
are looking out for us as yards.
Right.
Not just Midwest Runner and trying to make sure that we pay, deal with all the problems. It's, hey, we saw this, we want to take a picture of it so that people know about it. That's really big. I think another thing regarding the technology feature that's come up, in this transaction, you know who I sold it to.
Right.
You know the price I paid for it.
Absolutely.
And you know where it went. You've
Right.
got a lot of pretty key data.
Sure.
How do I know that data doesn't go out to the world by accident?
That's a great question, Jono. Our developer uses government-grade security in our software. They write other softwares for the government and the state, parolee tracking, things of this nature. And we're hosted on Amazon Web Services, so there are several layers of security. The data is typically used in a few fashions. One, it might be for your facility where we show you your data and what your performance is. We use that sales data and show you, here's what you've sold, here's what you've bought,
Yeah.
here's the real value you're getting.
You guys have insurance, I'm sure, about any kind of data breaches or that kind of thing. At some point in any relationship, there's trust.
Of course.
But you also elect to be in a relationship with Midwest Runner, Easy Suite, and M&M or whoever the yard is. There's that agreement that, hey, we're going to do business and we're going to do it this way.
Absolutely. We've never sold data. We have no intention of selling data. It's never been in a business model or any discussions we have. It's simply to benefit the industry.
As an independent operator, regardless of within reason, you can insert yourself into a hub without being part of any bigger trading group.
But you still have to be a part of a group. So either Midwest is taking you on, iPart's taking you on, or PRP's taking you on. An individual yard can't just go and
Insert in.
Okay. Now, if they're going to become a Midwest or PRP member whoever that is, yes, they're required to use the software. The only way that all these groups can commingle, if you will, between PRP, Midwest, IPART, Recyclers Crossdock, is with the software managing it. And a lot of times you'll find smaller, maybe newer recyclers coming into the mix that don't have the inventory, that now can get the inventory, and we watch them grow. Within weeks,
Sure.
you can see their numbers start to skyrocket.
I think that looking at this, and if you're a recycler who believes in the next generation of recyclers, this needs to be on your map.
It absolutely does.
And so I thank you for showing us the easy suite,
You
easy
bet.
runner, and easy route systems here. And the way it works with the Midwest Runner is absolutely just tongue and groove almost, right?
None of this could be achieved without the backbone of the same software being utilized across all the groups.
Thank you for watching. I want to thank Jim McKinney and Karl Milliron for hosting us at the Mansfield, Ohio hub for the Midwest Runner. And a special thank you for G-Corp for sponsoring this episode.
What we're going to do now is open it up to questions from any of the people that are watching. We've got people on Facebook, we got people on YouTube, and I just learned when I was setting this up that this platform opened up live streaming for LinkedIn. So we actually even have, I know of at least one person, Colton Davis, who commented on LinkedIn. So that's exciting. So Jono, I'm going to go to you. We filmed a lot, and probably about 3 or 4 hours worth of film. We got it down to a 20-minute video. A lot of the discussions, the Q&A that you had with Jim and Karl while you were there didn't make it. So I just want to pitch it to you and see if you've got any, like, what were your takeaways? What questions do you think didn't make the video that maybe are still in your mind that you think people would want to hear the answers to?
So I think one of the things that was touched on, but really maybe some more clarity could be used, is this. It's great for people who use the easy software and have the opportunity to get into the Midwest transportation network. It's nice to see where our product goes and kind of the behind the scenes, if you will, pulling the curtain back. But I want to reach into those people who would love to use the trucking network and or the easy software. And how do we actually get a chance to, how do they do that? We talked about Josh as a marketing person within the Midwest Runner team, and now he can help you with logistics, packing. But where should people go if they're interested in A, figuring out what it takes to join up with the current transportation network, or B, how many recyclers in a community might need to get together and then say, hey, we'd love to join the trucking network. How many do I need to make that a reality? Because that's where I see the opportunity for those who aren't connected and the opportunity for this network to grow. And I just want to make sure that's as clear as we possibly can make it for those users. Does that make sense, Jim and Karl?
Yeah, they can get more information on our website, midwestrunner.net, and there's information there to get them to Josh. And it's usually a one-on-one conversation with the recycler, depending where they're at, location-wise. A lot of different variables go into that, whether or not we have room on the route to add them to the route, or if they want to be an insert yard. There's a lot of ways that we can accommodate the recycler that way. Sometimes there's just not enough room on a truck on a route that they would be positioned for, so we might have to wait till that route might split up into 2 routes and be able to add several other yards and fill out the expansion route. So there's a lot of thought and input that has to go in for just instead of just a recycler saying, I want to join and sign up and be a part of it tomorrow. There's a lot that has to go into that and make sure that we can fit them into the network.
So, Karl, is there a sweet spot? Like, let's just say Virginia, right? Virginia wanted to create or have an opportunity for a hub.
Yep.
Is there a number in your mind that says if you can get 15, 5, 10, 25 like-minded recyclers, that's where I, as Midwest Trucking, starts to really crunch your numbers together?
Well, realistically, for an expansion to do a hub and a group of recyclers, we look in increments of 4 to 8 hours away.
Okay.
The next thing is maybe not the number of participants, but the caliber of participants that you have. Just for example, in our network, we have many recyclers that are buying and selling maybe 30 to 50 parts per week. And then we have other recyclers that may be doing 400 or 500 parts per week. So it might not come down really to the number of recyclers, but really the quantity of freight that you can get moving between the two hubs. So if you have 2 or 3 large players, you might be able to get it done with just 2 or 3. But like what I like to say is, you got the large players that are playing in the network. You need small players as well, because that's who the large players are selling their product to. So sometimes it doesn't come down really to the number of recyclers, but it's the quantity of volume that they'll be able to put through the system and receive. But just, off cuff, 5 to 6 recyclers of the right ones is a good number.
That's good.
And just to add to the complexity of that, it depends where you put a new hub because of the timings, right? All of these hubs are timed, and as the first few that were added, it wasn't difficult to say, okay, we're going to do our cross docking at 11 o'clock at night. This hub's going to do it at 3 a.m. to meet the time for the transfer truck, and so on and so forth. As you add more and more hubs, you add more and more complexity into what that needs to look like, so everything can, be as timely as possible.
Yeah. So thanks, guys. We've got 3 or 4 questions rolling in, so I'm gonna throw them up here. This first one is from Stephen Murphy. He's asking this on LinkedIn. So Stephen, I'll go to LinkedIn and comment on this in case you're not watching. But this video, what you're watching, will be posted on our YouTube channel, on the Automotive Recyclers Association YouTube channel, as well as our Facebook page. So you'll be able to go and watch that there. Now I'm gonna pick a couple other questions. Shan, she had a comment about what were the challenges of combining RCD with the runner?
Actually, there really wasn't a challenge. It was basically just Bo agreeing to run our software, the Easy Suite software, so we could all be on the same page. Once we were able to overcome that hurdle with Bo, it's pretty easy. Tracking the parts through the system and being able to put line hauls in between hubs.
Very good. Randy from Facebook has got a question about if there are ways. What are the ways to get Midwest Run Yards to join CDC yards?
Probably the best way to do that is, if there's somebody specific you want to trade with that's not signed up for CDC, encourage them to reach out to either Josh or us here at Easy, and we can get them set up on CDC. It's simply filling out a short sign-up form and giving us your ACH info, but encourage them to sign up if it's somebody you want to trade with.
What is a CDC?
So CDC is what allows somebody that's RCD only to trade with another yard that's Midwest only. So it's a cross-platform trading agreement between Midwest and RCD.
It's the acronym for cross-dock collaboration.
Got it.
Very good. Okay. Another question from Facebook from Motor City Core. Just curious if there's a decent hub in Michigan, because I guess he joined into this late.
We don't have a hub in Michigan. We're just south of the border in Fremont, Indiana. We service all of our Michigan yards out of that hub in Fremont, Indiana.
And I guess your guy Josh is online watching on Facebook, because he says, "Have him get a hold of me." John, I'm going to bounce back to you. See if you've got any additional questions or comments about the video or other things.
Yeah, so this video was obviously we were focusing on the transportation side of the network, of how we are all moving parts together. But the backbone, Jim, we had the Jim McKinney special there, where it was just like focused on Jim, and that's when viewership spiked. I think you could tell. But through that part, we established that Midwest trucking and the runner system works so well, but it's really because of the technology also helps facilitate all those transactions. And I know the newest portion of that is EasyQC. And so I was just curious, if more yards were using EasyQC, how do you think that could benefit or affect the industry and the people on the transportation network?
We're seeing more and more people that are part of Midwest, PRP, RCD, and others get on EasyQC, primarily because it doesn't matter if you're on Pinnacle or Hollander or Checkmate, or you can see what's going on between vendors. So, Jono, as you are buying a product from Millirons, you can see pictures of my part as we pull it, as we process it, everything that's going on with it. So we can correct an issue early on instead of waiting 3 days to get the part and realize that there's a problem with it. So I guess the transparency between recyclers that are trading parts is huge. That's probably the biggest part as it relates to group trading.
And I think we've established that the more we can elevate our level of quality control within our own yards, it benefits the industry as a whole, for just the appearance and the confidence in what we sell. We know it's good, but then giving us that extra layer of protection is just so vital. We asked a question that came up, or I posed a question about number of yards and just trying to figure out how many it would take to start a potential hub. And Carl's great point was, listen, it's yards, but it's number of parcels. It's number of parts of the truck.
Yeah.
But if your yard's not very big, it doesn't disqualify you from this, correct? I just want to make sure that anybody's out there who's got a small yard doesn't feel like this isn't for them as well.
No, it works for everybody, small to super large. It's a lot more cost effective the more you utilize it and the more you trade through it.
Good.
Yeah.
So let's talk about G-Core for a second. We talked about them during the video, and I want to kind of circle back to that and revisit why you chose them as a partner, what the advantage is. They are in fact sponsoring this video, which we really appreciate. They made this possible. But I also, in addition to being grateful that they sponsored it, I definitely want to highlight why you chose them as a sponsor and what the benefits are for somebody who's already using the Midwest Runner Trucking Network to consider using G-Core as well.
Yeah. Well, back when Ohio did have a state association, G-Core was a affiliate member and had been for 20 plus years. And, back when we started having environmentals issues and stormwater planning, prevention, they worked real close with a lot of the Ohio recyclers and help provide, leak-proof containers, how to handle, cores of engines and transmissions with liquid. And they were just very instrumental and have always been close to our industry and always has been there to help. So I've had a lifelong working relationship with the company, and it just it seemed like a natural. At first, we didn't have them on as a member, but to add extra benefit to our members that were utilizing it, we felt it necessary to bring somebody like G-Core on board to add extra benefit to our yards that we're servicing.
Yeah. As a recycler, if I can just speak to that, G-Core obviously was they're so supportive of the local, state, and the national shows at ARA. I'd see their booth and talk with them, and until we had an opportunity to join the Midwest Runner, it wasn't a viable option for us to get them the product that they were willing to buy. And so because of the network and the opportunity I have, I've been able to get them product, and they've been paying me for it, obviously. But the transparency with the drivetrain has been something that I think has been really special. They, if I send them a unit and it's maybe not as described, or possibly there's something going on inside a unit, I'm getting an email saying, hey, this is why I can't pay you what I want to pay you for this. I just wanted to get you up front so you're not caught off guard. I think that transparency is really great. We've got a lot of good vendors in our industry, but kind of those kind of little things that they do really provide value back to the recyclers for selling a commodity we know is worth something, but we're still ignorant about. It's great.
And the other thing with G-Core is they handle all types of cores. They buy everything.
Yeah, if any of you that came to Karl and I's conference earlier this year, if you had the opportunity to do a tour of G-Core, or if you get the opportunity, you absolutely should go. It's an amazing operation.
Yeah, that was really cool. I mean, you could stand right there and watch them melt things down, and then walk over to another building and see it's almost like a surgical environment as they are disassembling in one part of the building and reassembling remanufactured stuff. So very, very cool operation. Yeah. So anybody watching, if you have any questions, this would be a great time for you to chime in. Otherwise, we're running up on about 40 minutes, just over 40 minutes. And Jono, unless you've got any more comments or we have any questions from the viewers, we'll start to wrap this up. I just had a question come in from Jarrett. He says, are there things Jim see as valuable tools on the Easy platform that are being underutilized by recyclers? That's a good question.
Yeah, it is a great question, Jarrett. Thanks. It's getting better, but certainly return authorization, I would like to see some greater usage, and some of the more tight-knit groups are certainly doing that and doing it well. There is incident reporting, as he pointed out, that I don't think it's been out for a few months, where a hub or a dock worker can log something that's packaged improperly, and I think that's very important. We have noticed a massive uptick in photos and images in the system in the past year. And as QC evolves, we now have documentation of the product from the very beginning to the very end and back again if should be. It's vitally important, and all of us as recyclers should embrace this, because it highlights where we may be dropping the ball and can fix things. It also highlights where carriers may be dropping the ball, or somebody new comes in and there's a specific issue. But we need to use this data to improve all of ourselves, and the more we use those tools, the better off we'll all be.
Great. All right. Well, again, Jono, did you have something?
I do have something. This is something I think that the viewers out there who are going to watch this later on. So in business, in the recycling business, I'm always looking for that next opportunity. I just want Karl and Jim to look at the people and tell us you're not done. You're going to keep reaching out, because I think that there are people, and I'm serious, there are people out there, recyclers, who want to know you're still pursuing that next opportunity for us, because we can't take a truck. It's not a viable option for me to take a truck and drive it to Oklahoma or wherever. But tell us you're doing something. That's what I want to know. You don't have to tell us where, but tell us you're working on it.
We're transparent. I mean, we've got good working relationships with PRP and good working relationships with the cross docks, the Phoenixes of the world, and the ASOPs. So we're into it. We're into it for the industry. We're still looking in the upper Midwest over Minnesota. We're going to actively seek to site a hub in Minneapolis area, move our Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin over to that area. We're looking at doing some collaborative things with Bo down, through Kansas and Oklahoma and into Texas. So there's just a lot of good things that a lot of us are working on and attacking from different regions, different areas, and at some point in time we'll all be tied together.
Beautiful.
All right, I got two questions, both from Randy, so I'll do them one at a time. So, Karl, Jim, I guess this is a question for you guys, asking about how to minimize or limit damage while on the Midwest runner.
Proper packaging.
Yeah, I think if we go back to that video, we talk a little bit. What was the phrase you told Jono, and Jono, you repeated it. What was that?
Just package the part to protect the integrity of the part.
Yeah.
So damage is inherent. It's going to happen. Realistically, we're under 1% damage claims on. It's actually a fraction of a percent of total items that are shipped through the network. So, but 0.5% of 30,000 parts a month is a big number. That's why it seems like it's out of hand, but it's really not. And we do our best. Sometimes the transportation company is at fault. Sometimes it's the yard and how they packaged it. So we do our best to address that and be fair with the claims.
And I think what's important is the transparency you've built into the system, so that you have images when it's picked up from the selling recycler. You have images when you're transporting it, images when it gets to the hub, images when it gets to the buyer. I mean, if there's damage, it's not hard to figure out where it happened. So
right.
I think the transparency that's built into the system is more important than the percent of 1%, right? Because mistakes are going to happen, things are going to happen. I always find that it's more important to find out what a business does once a mistake happens. How do they handle it? How do they make it right? And you guys have built a system to do that. So Randy's got a second question about whether you're going to open your store where we can buy products we use every day as recyclers. I'm not sure I understand that question. Do you guys?
Yeah, I think he's referring to boxes and and packing supplies or any
I got you.
Literally anything there. And Karl, I don't know where this program's at. You might know, but the Panel Armor was putting together a program with us, not with me, but with Midwest to have a venue for just what Randy's alluding to.
Okay.
Yeah, we used to supply boxes and sleeves for doors and things like that, but it got too onerous for us. Seemed like we were more in the cardboard box business than the trucking business. So,
yeah.
So we partnered with Panel Armor, and we actually stock a lot of their product in a couple of our hubs, Greensboro and Louisville. So if the yard wants to order product from Panel Armor, and we have it in stock, we can ship it right to you on our truck and drop it at your door.
You're basically an Amazon warehouse now.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Randy. Those were good questions. Go ahead, Jono.
I was going to say, one thing that was one of the beautiful things that I get to do with Vince is go around and do some of these video tours, for ARA. And, you get to meet people outside of a show. You get to meet the real person, not the booth person or the person that you might talk to on the phone. And these two, Karl and Jim, they're the real deal. I mean, you guys are kind, open, transparent, and I just appreciate that, especially in the world we live in today where you never know what you're going to get. And so I really enjoy getting to know you guys, and it's that pressing the flesh, getting to meet people and talk to them and feeling comfortable with the relationship. And so transparency has been said a number of times, but when I send my part on the road, it's like sending my child on the road, right? I want to make sure that it's taken care of, and nothing's ever perfect, but you guys do a good job, and I'm proud to do business with you. So thank you for that.
Well, thank you for the kind words, Jono. We appreciate that. And it's just, we just live our lives by, it's pretty easy. All you got to do is the right thing. As long as you do the right thing, you'll never be wrong.
Do the next right thing. Good advice.
We thoroughly enjoyed you as well, Jono, Vince, but you were great. No, Vince and I've got to spend a lot of time together here lately, and it's been
this year has been this year I've gotten to know Jim pretty well, and I echo Jim. Just mute your volume. I don't want you to hear this, but I do echo what Jono has said about getting to know these two guys, and so I want to thank you guys for opening your doors and letting us come in. I want to thank everybody for watching this and being interactive and asking questions. I want to thank G-Corps for sponsoring the video, and we've got a few more shows lined up before the end of the year. And when I mean trade shows, we've got. I'm leaving for Indianapolis tomorrow morning, so I hope to see if you're going to be in Indy. Come see me. Tell me what you think of this video, and tell me what you think of this series that we're doing. If you haven't seen some of the other videos, please check out our YouTube channel, our Facebook page. We've got virtual facility tours of B&R out in Oregon. We've got Nordstrom's in South Dakota. We did Eric Wilbert's You Pull It place in Rochester, New York. And we're thrilled to add this one. This was a request, actually, people coming up to me and asking, hey, we'd love to see what happens at a hub, we're a trucking hub. And so I was glad we were able to put this together. If anybody watching has any ideas about what you would like to see, whether it's another facility or somebody like Karl and Jim who enhance the business that you guys do, please reach out to me and I'll look to making that happen. So thank you, everybody.
Or if you have a facility in Hawaii, it's very important that ARA video that facility. And I'm happy to do that.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, we do need sponsors to make that happen. So anyway, guys, thank you so much. Thank you for everybody that watched. And you guys have a great day. Thanks.
All right. Thank you.
See ya.